everybody, happy Tuesday. Today for science we are going to read a little bit together, and we're going to read about weather measurements and some meteorological tools, and it should be fun. Then we're going to use our knowledge that we learned to answer a few little questions together, and yeah, let's do this. You guys are awesome. Weather prediction. Weather forecasters or meteorologists use several tools to help predict the weather. A meteorologist is a scientist who studies the atmosphere and predicts what the weather will be today, tomorrow, or in the future. Weather forecasters are also meteorologists. A weather forecast is a prediction by a meteorologist and is often given on television using the tools to predict the weather for today, tomorrow, or next week. A meteorologist will use computer models, observations, and a knowledge of trends and patterns to predict the weather. A computer model is a computer process or program that helps predict the weather. Some of the tools used by a weather forecaster include a thermometer, barometer, rain gauge, and anemometer. A thermometer measures air temperature. A barometer measures air pressure. A rain gauge measures the amount of rain that falls over a specific time period. An anemometer measures airspeed. All are examples of weather instruments. Sometimes people use wind vanes to determine the direction the wind is blowing. A wind vane shows the direction of the wind, whether it's blowing north or south, east or west, or in between. Several other instruments a meteorologist or weather forecaster uses are weather balloons, weather satellites, weather buoys, and Doppler radar. A weather balloon is the size of a large beach ball when it is sent into the air, but grows to the size of a bus as the air pressure increases. Eventually, the weather balloon bursts, and a parachute allows a lightweight cardboard box filled with scientific instruments to drop to the ground. The scientific instruments in the box have measured wind speed, wind direction, air pressure, air temperature, and other data. A weather satellite orbits the Earth or can hover over the same spot. Weather satellites carry instruments that can scan the Earth to form images. The images take less than a minute to be sent to Earth. The weather satellites usually have some sort of small telescope or antenna for the purpose of monitoring weather systems around the world. Satellites operate for 3 to 7 years, but some last much longer. The data from the satellites is sent to the weather stations and then relayed to the weather forecast centers all over the world. Weather buoys measure air temperature above the ocean's surface, wind speed, steady and gusting, wind direction, and other data. Weather buoys work similarly as a weather balloon, except they are located in oceans, as well as lakes. In addition, because they are in oceans and lakes, they also measure water temperature, wave height, and other data. Doppler radar gives weather forecasters more information to share with people interested in learning about the amount of rain to expect, how much rain, the speed and direction of the wind, and much more. Doppler radar can also provide early detection of severe thunderstorms that may cause dangerous winds, large hail, heavy rain, and possibly tornadoes. In summary, weather forecasters and meteorologists use many instruments to predict the weather all over the world. The instruments they use may be as simple as a thermometer to measure the cold or how cold the air or how warm the air is, to other instruments that send messages all over the world, like Doppler radar or a weather satellite. Guys, now that we've read, what we're going to do is actually answer some questions together. So, our first question is, which of the following weather instruments measures airspeed? So, do we think that it's a thermometer, a barometer, a wind vane, or an anemometer? So based on our reading, we know that a thermometer measures temperature. So we're going to cross that one out because that's not airspeed. Do you guys remember what a barometer measures? A barometer measures air pressure. So we're going to cross that one out. And a wind vane tells you which direction that the wind is going in. So we'll cross that one out, which means that it is an anemometer. So we're going to highlight that one, or I did highlighting because I wanted you guys to be able to see it a little bit better than if I circled it. But you can just circle it. If you want to find out what direction the wind was blowing, which of the following would you use? Would you use a thermometer, barometer, wind vane, or anemometer? Well, let's think again. So the thermometer tells us the temperature. So we're going to cross that out. A barometer tells us the air pressure. We don't need to know the air pressure right now, so we'll cross that one out. Let's see, a wind vane. That tells us what direction the wind is blowing. So we're gonna go ahead and highlight or circle our answer. Good job, everyone. So next, we have which of the following weather instruments uses a parachute? Do we think it's a weather balloon? So let's review what we learned about the weather balloon. So we know that it's the size of a beach ball. We know that it deals with air pressure. We also know that when that balloon bursts, it has a parachute that allows the lightweight cardboard box with the scientific instruments to drop down to the ground. So we are going to say A. It is a weather balloon that uses a parachute. Number 4. Which of the following weather instruments is used for determining how much rain to expect? So we just talked about the weather balloon, so we know that that's not going to tell us about the rain. Again, the weather buoy, that tells us the temperature above the ocean surface and in the water. So it's not going to be a weather buoy, so we'll cross those two out. And then let's take a look here. What about a weather satellite? Weather satellite, that's up in space. It's not really telling us about the rain. So that brings us down to D, the Doppler radar, which does tell us about potentially how much precipitation or rain we are going to get. So highlight or circle D. Number 5, which of the following weather instruments orbit the Earth? Well, we just talked about that, so let's see if we can find out of our 4 choices something to do with space and a satellite. A, weather balloon. Nope, cross it out. B, weather buoy. Nope, that's in the water, cross it out. C, weather satellite. Ding, 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 that is what we were looking for, folks. So you're going to circle or highlight C. Now, we're gonna move on to number 6. Which of the following weather instruments is used to measure the temperature of the water in a body of water? Well, we've been talking about this one too. So do you guys think it is A, a weather balloon? No, we've already talked about that one. B, a weather buoy. If you said yes, you are correct. The answer is B, weather buoy, because the buoy is in the water, and that's one of our keywords we can use to solve this. So you guys did a really amazing job. Thanks for hanging with me and learning about weather and weather instruments. See you soon.
But you won't stay close.